Right, hello, welcome to London Marylebone Station at
Marylebone.
6 a.m.
Marylebone.
Same thing. We are heading to Derby today because there's a little thing going on for Rail 200 called the Greatest Gathering, and we're going to the first day because haha funny. Yeah, but on Marylebone Station, it's gorgeous station. I really like how Chiltern has generally kept the classic feel of the station. Like, it does somewhat feel like a steam engine would not feel out of place just rolling into the station, you know?
Yeah, I would take that.
So, I think without any further ado, we're going to get on this 168 to Birmingham. I know, we're venturing into the dark lands, and then we're going to get on a cross-country service to Derby. Why are we doing this route instead of just going straight from London to Derby? Money.
Yeah.
This is cheaper. Right. We are gonna shut up and get on this train.
Yeah.
And we'll see you somewhere along the line, or at Birmingham, or at Derby, whichever the one I decide to turn the camera on. I don't know.
Me neither.
we're here at Birmingham Moor Street, which is actually a really nice station on contradiction to most of Birmingham. It's actually a very, very, very nice station. Again, like with Marylebone, whatever you want to call it, it's
heritage.
Feels like a steam train would not feel out of place in the station whatsoever. It feels heritage. I mean, if you look back there, you've still got the old water pipe for steam locomotives there. They've done a beautiful job preserving the station, keeping it in a somewhat original state. It is a really, really, really beautiful, beautiful station.
Definitely.
That cannot be said for the rest of Birmingham, and that cannot be said for the station we are about to go to, because unfortunately we must now walk to Birmingham New Street and switch to cross country. Luckily, we have first class, so that means we actually are gonna get a seat.
Yes.
Which is good, and you know, it's cross country. We might get food, which would be useful because Greg's at Marylebone was closed. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to see if there's a Greg's here. Right, and we're here at Derby.
Yes.
We've made it from London the long way around. Arguably the more fun way around.
Definitely the more fun way around.
Yes. Nice journey on 168.
Definitely.
And actually decently enjoyable journey on cross country, surprisingly.
Yes, but it was ex ante, so.
Yeah.
hypes it a bit.
Yeah, but
Hype's
you know,
not the right word.
this does come to a bit of a point we have. Voyages are actually not that bad. The problem is they're just too short.
Yeah.
Like, if they were to make the voyages longer, or if they ordered them in a longer formation, they would actually be somewhat competent.
I would argue that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we are at Derby now. So what we're going to do, we are going to head to Greg's, get something to eat, because Greg's is the Holy Land, and then, well, we'll head to Derby Church Lane and head into the Greatest Gathering. Don't know how many bits of the camera we'll do there. Might just be a bunch of B-roll, but we'll see what we can do. Yeah. Yippee. Oh, whatever will we do? We've got some peaks, a bunch of peaks. Oh, we've got a Western and a thing. This truly encapsulates the British experience. Just queuing. Greater Anglia tote bag, don't mind if I do. It's one of us! It's one of us! Guys, why have they got a picture of a Coca-Cola can on the thing? Whoa, they actually did something. They let people through. Wow. Oh, wow. The traction engines. They've got traction engines there. The smell is amazing. They're steaming up the traction engines. It just smells so good. I love the smell of a steam engine. Traction engines are like if you made cars actually cool things. You know, you made cars cool by putting a steam engine on it. Yeah. Smells amazing. Smells absolutely glorious. Gorgeous merchant navy there. British India Line. Absolutely beautiful. Clan Line. Gorgeous locomotive. Saw this one at Waterloo not so long ago. Beautiful. Gorgeous.
Stania Mogul 260, Stania's first design, and the engine's recently back in traffic on the Severn Valley Railway. After a 10-year overhaul, 18 months into its ticket, everything's going smoothly.
Got a random Mark 1. Love to see it. It's the goat. It's the pet. Down the pits.
We've got what we call a tight lock coupler. So these were built as 3-car units. This is what has helped us attach to what would have been another unit, and we can run as 6 cars. And then in here, this is what we call the electrical coupling box. So that is when the 2 trains couple, that sheaf will drop, and these pins will touch pins on what would have been the other unit, and it helps the 2 trains talk to each other. And then these 2 here, so we get continuous air throughout the train. At the very front of the wheels is what we call light guard. So no train is allowed to leave a depot without these. These are very, very, very important pieces of safety equipment, and it's just a piece of steel. These will basically kick anything out the way that's on the rails, being from Liverpool, Birkenhead, trolleys and all sorts. It'll just knock them out the way, and it won't cause any damage to the train, and it ultimately won't let the train come off the rails. While we're talking of the rails, coming up shortly, we've got what we call a leaf fall. Trains start to slip and slide with leaf litter. Network Rail would are really good to start clearing leaves away. But if you have a look down the rail, you can see how very little contact the wheels make on the rail, because it's tapered, so it's very, very minimal, so it's very easy for trains to start to pick up and slide. Yeah, it's absolutely tiny. And all that keeps the train on laterally from coming off side to side is about the size of a £2 coin. This is what we call the wheel flange, so it sits on the inside. If you've ridden on these or any other unit around Merseyside, you'll hear them screaming around the loop. That's where the wheels are making contact with the inside of the rail, and it's just the flange rubbing up against it, which is perfectly normal. As we get to here, we've got what we call the AWS, the automatic warning system, and the train protection warning system. This is to assist drivers with the signalling system and ultimately stops drivers speeding towards points, speed restrictions or red signals or points. If this has to go off, the driver's getting tea and biscuits, because TPWS should be a quiet safety system that you shouldn't know. Over here, this is your trip cock. That's what that will do. If that ever knocks, it will bleed the air out. It's in the cab, and it will bleed the air out and it will break them. This here, this is the motor. So these are what power the wheels. Basically, magic. Don't ask me how, I have no idea. That's magic. And then, has anyone ever been on these in service? So you'll hear them, when they're setting off, you'll make a whooshing noise. That's this. This is the air intake for the fact to keep everything nice and cool, and it'll draw air in and it'll keep the camshaft cool. Just under here, this is where the camshaft is. There is a camshaft out on display if you've not seen it already. You can have a little play, see how it works, and that's what helps the train keep moving about. Quite a common noise with these is the ticking. This is what we call this is a Spirax valve on all the air boxes. So this is our main reservoir air box. This is an auxiliary main reservoir. This is a brake cylinder reservoir, and then ultimately a door reservoir, because the doors are air powered on these units. The ticking noise you can hear is the air basically being regulated out, and it's kicking moisture out the air system. If we have moisture in there, driver could put the brakes on and nothing would happen because it's airlocked. So that's what that is.
So where are the motors located?
Just on the end bogies on each driving in. You'll see some more just here in a second as well. But yeah, these are, if you put your hand against it, you'll feel it kick loads of air out. That's basically just purging the system, making sure it's clear.
So all the cars weren't motors?
No, so we'll get to the middle one and you can literally jump up and down, and there's no motors, there's no camshaft, nothing in there. As we get to here, this is the sandbox and the sanding system on the train. So what it'll do is, if the train begins to slip or slide, it'll spit sand out at high pressure against the wheel sets, which will help the train gain adhesion, either by spitting her out as you try to stop the wheels spinning, it'll spit her under so it gets some traction, or if you're sliding, it'll spit her under to help it grip again for the brakes to work. So that's controlled by what we call a WSP rack wheel stuff. Just dry sand, any dry sand.
Right.
Yeah, as long as it's not wet. So for us drivers, testing the sanding system is a very, very big important thing when we're preparing trains. As we get to this point, this is my favourite bit. This is the shoe gear on the unit on either side. So this is what the train's powered by third rail DC. So on the Merseyrail network and down south, you'll see what we call juice rail, it's a third rail. These shoes will sit on there, and it'll basically pick up electricity, and it'll run it through this cable, and then that's when the magic happens, and I have no idea. So the shoe beam itself is made of solid oak, and on the end is steel filled with resin, and that stops the electricity dispersing everywhere else. The resin absorbs that.
What's the shoe block made from?
That, I think, is steel.
Right.
And it's very heavy. I think there is one on the table for you to have a little look
right.
at. So when we took possession of the unit in Newport, they weren't fitted. We had to refit them ourselves because they would have been out of gauge, just to stick out a little bit further than the rest of the train.
Right.
They weren't clear to run down there, so they were taken off. The plan is batteries.
Right.
So when we get under here, now under the trailer, you'll see there's plenty of open space where batteries can be fitted. So there's your motors, just here.
Right.
That's where they are. And just mind your head as you come underneath them. So you're now coming from the powered vehicle to the unpowered vehicle, what we call the trailer. So that's the B end, and now we're under the trailer. Because these ran as 3-car trains, they were never really uncoupled as shorter trains unless they absolutely had to. That is all that holds the coaches together, 4 bolts. you'll notice this becomes a common theme in a minute, is just 4 bolts with some butterfly split pins, and the only time you'd ever take them off is for maintenance purposes. So they're just like a solid, rock solid coupler. This is like brake cylinder pipes and stuff, so we've got through brake and through air, so when you put the brake in one vehicle, there's a brake on the other end. And then as we come under the unpowered coach, you'll notice the sheer size of the brake discs is absolutely enormous. On older stock and much slower stock, they're usually on the inside, but if you look at like Meridians and Voyagers, they're on the outside. That helps keep them cooler at high speeds. In here, this is where the brake pads are. If you have a look on the table when you go out there, you'll see a brand new brake pad compared to a worn one. They get worn very quickly, and they would have done on Merseyrail especially, because it's a constant stop-start. And then in here, this is where your brake cylinder is. That's what feeds the air in to apply the brake. And there's also on some of them a spring parking brake. So the brakes on the train are completely fail-safe. You'll never get the brakes releasing the train will roll away. So as the unit's got air in, as it has now, even though it's all isolated and stuff, in theory, the air would apply this, and the air pressure will push off the spring parking brake and make it completely safe. When the unit starts to lose air, which happens over time, the air pressure will bleed out and the spring will stretch, which will apply that. So the train will never roll away. It's completely fail-safe. Here is a big god screw. That is all that holds the bogie onto the body. So what can be done is the train can be jacked up. This bolt can be undone beforehand, jack the train up, the wheels will stay and the body will lift, and we can slide the wheels out to replace the wheels. That's quite common when trains are like towards leaf fall and stuff. When they start getting really bad wheel flats, you have to replace the wheel sets. And then because this is just a trailer coach, you can jump up and down in here. There's no risk of banging your head. There's no motors, there is no camshaft, there's no fire risk, there's nothing in here. This is literally just a trailer coach. The only thing it will have in common is the 2 tanks above your head. These are cylinder tanks for the air suspension, so that's the secondary suspension. All that's for is comfort. It just keeps you nice and comfortable, takes the bang and the bounce out the train as it's going along. Same 3 air tanks again, doors, brakes and stuff. Every vehicle needs to have one because every vehicle's got brakes, everyone's got suspension and everyone's got doors. So you'll have the same one and you'll keep ticking over and purging air out every now and again. And then all this box is, this is just literally, not this box, where's the box? That box behind you. All there is, it draws fresh air into the cabin of the train, into the saloon. As the train moves, it'll push air in and it just feeds fresh air. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I won't take you any further because that's the same as, the AN's the same as the BN, just reversed. So, and there's no safe way of getting out there. Feel free to take yourselves a leaflet if you want to find out more about what we're doing, if you want to donate to us at all, or if you want to join us as a member, there are some membership forms. If you want to get involved, if you want to get hands-on, feel free. Either take a form or speak to the guys on the table in the opposite building. Simulators all set up with an actual cabin there. As we come out, if you want to have a play with the PIS system or jump on the unit, have a look in the cab, feel free.
Right, we are now in the Hydroflex train. Now this is a bit of a blast from the past for me, because this is basically exactly how my local trains were growing up.
Not the same maquette though.
Not the same maquette, but basically the same. So it's, oh my god, they're so much better than the 710s.
That's not exactly difficult.
It's not difficult, but oh my god. Yeah, how are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so. I mean, yes. Yes.
I'm liking it. I like the big steam. We've got to go out and get a shot of Sir Nigel Bresley at some point. And I like going through there. I like going underneath 507001.
Yes.
I'm curious as to if 303201 is open. This is cool. This is cool. And it's really cool just being in this massive space with so many different pieces of railway history, from both like the very, very, very old to like not very old to like present, and there will be some exhibits on the future as well, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
West Midlands Railway, you're getting rid of your 350-2s, right? Just TFL, take them, go, and put them on my local line, please. I will be a very happy bunny. Right, let's go explore more. Pin badge. We got a pin badge. Pin badge. You know me and my badges. I love badges. Pin badge. My goat. My goat. My goats. My goats. My goats. My goats. Bring back the 315s, please.
I'll present to you what we're doing is Project 315. We hope that later this year or beginning into next year, we're going to take the leading car of our 315 unit, number 856, and we're going to take it down, we're going to give it a proper refresh, and we're going to paint it into something completely new, unannounced. Originally, we did plan for the 9th of August, but we've been very busy with the whole merger of the societies and getting ready for the Greatest Gathering. Unfortunately, that's not something we're going to aim for at this time, but we hope before the end of 2025 that we'll have a nice, clean livery. And the aim is we're kind of going to have people, we're going to just do one coach, maybe even just one side of one coach, and just see what people think, see what people think of it. And if people like it, we'll do the whole train. If people don't, then we'll have a sit back and we'll rethink. But yeah, it's all very exciting. You can obviously support the group. Everything, if you were to join this membership, everything would be channeled onto the 315. Everything would be. You can also support the Class 309 as well. We're also working to restore that into its 1987 condition. That's basically the East Anglia Railway Museum. We've basically decided to combine forces, essentially. So
what's the eventual plan with the 315?
the eventual plan with the 315 is we're taking it one step at a time for now. We're going to go ahead with the cosmetic restoration of one coach, see how that is, and then we're going to decide what we'll do for the full unit. After we do the full unit, we're going to explore options of hauling it down preserved lines and hiring out to other preserved railways for their use. So, you might be familiar with this. This is a Stone Faveley AMBR pantograph. There are two examples here with us today. We were going to get a Brecknell Willis in, however, there was a slight miscommunication and unfortunately we didn't manage that. But nonetheless, we have two Stone Faveley AMBR pantographs, all of which have been carried by our fleet, or still do to some extent. Now, this one in particular was carried by a Class 86, specifically number 246, and if you're able to, it is naturally, the way it's air loaded, it will naturally always stay up. So when the pantograph lowers, the air is released, and you hear that sound, and then it will just come straight down like this. And while it's down, you could actually see a bit more detail about the sort of carbon strip that's kept across the top there. And this allowed it to have good contact with the overhead wires. Normally, this stuff here is made of an element called cadmium, which gives it a very unique green colour. You can see it more on that one there, more at the top. You can see the bits of cadmium at the top. But here, we've given it a proper jet spray just for the sake of people being able to get up close to it and, you know, health and safety, that kind of stuff. So you find you just do that and it will just slowly come back up again. And the thing with these kind of things is that they are much bigger and they're much heavier up close than you are when you see them, you know, far away. You know, when you see them on the platform, you just see a little pantograph sticking up. But when you actually get up close and personal to it, you'll find that, you know, it's actually a real heavy bit of kit that you've got to deal with here. So there we go. If you want to, you are obviously I'll be supervising you, but if you want to have a go at bringing it down yourself. So if you I can hold the camera for you if you like.
Yeah.
If you just if you put two hands on this little arm here, and you just give it all your strength, you can bring it down. That's it. Heavy enough for you? That's it. And then just keep holding on to it as it goes up, otherwise it will go flying. That's it, yeah. Just gently, 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 gently. That's it. Right there. But there you go. This is a sort of little demonstration we have, and we hope by tomorrow we'll be able to have it wired up to an actual Class 317 cab panel. The wiring we're all still working on, but we hope by tomorrow we'll have it wired up and people can press the button and it will actually raise lower by itself without the need for someone to actually get in there and do it. Yeah, we were very privileged, and it cost us a lot of money, but we think it was worth it to have people in to see the pantograph. But yeah, we believe this one came from a Class 317 because it's from Arlington. It would have either come from a 317/5 or /8. As you know, this is the typical Stone Favely design. They were carried on the first generation of 317s. The second generation did carry them, but for literally only a few years, until about the 2000s, early 2000s, and they got the newer Bretnell Willis one. But as you can tell, this one is the very sort of classic 1950s, 1960s design, where you have loads of little arms leading up together, as opposed to just one sleeker design. I'm just going to make sure. I don't know if you can lower this one. Yeah, this one's a bit more of a heavier one to touch, and a bit filthier as well. So yeah, we hope eventually this will get wired up to one of the pantographs with a bit of magic and a bit of air pistons. We can get it working. But yeah, it's honestly, yeah, we appreciate you guys coming to visit and all, and we're going to be open. We're going to be open like more or less. Well, we're going to be open all the way till 4 o'clock. But yeah, if you ever want to come back and have a look before we close, feel free to. Something like this, you know, how the amount of people that have, the amount of people that they've whisked from the outer suburbs into central London, and that these kind of stories, they just don't get told about enough. Yeah, so you would have had the 315s coming into through that line. Yeah, you would have had them. Everything we sell goes towards the 309 and the 315 and the 317 as well. So all things that you're interested in, they go towards.
Finally got this badge. I've been looking so much for this badge. Oh my god, thank you, friends of Network Southeast. You guys are the goats. Oh yes, oh yes. Oh, glorious, glorious, beautiful. I like, yes, give me more. Guys, average cross-country experience.
No.
Average cross-country experience.
It's long formed. Too many cars.
Longest cross-country train, guys. We've got this beautiful locomotive. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a Midland Railway. We're gonna go on a narrow gauge railway because why the hell not? Narrow gauge railways are awesome. Gonna be riding in there. Yippee. Sir Nigel Gresley. Beautiful A4. And now we'll grab Blue Peter, peppercorn. Got a few little things here. And a few very busy exhibits. Yeah. There's a new Sprinter there, painted in gorgeous Regional Railways livery. There's a Pacer, we all know about Pacers. There's the
Best train in the world, the
Bubble car.
Voyager. Okay.
there's a bubble car there. That's what is drawing my eye, because as I've noted in previous videos, previous videos, next video I will note it again, I have a soft spot for first gen DMUs. I love first gen DMUs. I think they are adorable, and this is no exception. Look at this little guy. Look at this little guy. Look at him. He's so cute. Right, and we're just outside the event, and here I've got Denzel's World with me. The event's just finished. What did you think of the event?
Oh, it is amazing. They literally mean it when they brought every single train. They brought all the trains from past to present, and even trains that we haven't even seen.
Yeah, the HS2 train.
Yeah, the HS2 train?
Yeah, there's well, not the actual HS2 train itself, but they've got like mock-up displays of the HS2 train in that thing. We didn't get to go in. It's something you had to pre-book, but
Yeah.
it's still cool that
I
they've
went
got
on
it.
I went on the Railway 200 inspiration train, which tells you a backstory of how British Railways started and how it formed. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
My biggest highlight is you know, getting to go in like one of these train cabs and just, you know, look around basically and have the full experience.
Yeah.
And that's something that I actually adore and I appreciate. Moreover, the fact that there's so much, there is like moreover to the fact that there is a lot to entail because of how massive this train depot is.
So that diesel train is clogging up. Yeah, I think definitely one of the highlights for me was seeing the PEPs, seeing 507 and 313-201 and 455-868 all in one place was really cool. I kind of wish the 315 was there, but it's understandable as to why it wasn't there. But still really cool to see it all together, and I loved all of the steam. I think the steam was amazing. Seeing all of it come together. I loved the little narrow gauge steam railway that you got to ride on, and we get to ride actually in the locomotive. It's really cool. But yeah, that's our review of the Greatest Gathering. This video will be going out after the Greatest Gathering, so we can't recommend you to come to it. But if you're watching us somehow in the past, then come to the Greatest Gathering. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for watching. And
Subscribe to the Transport Trio.
And subscribe to Denzel's World. And, well, I'm looking at my fake watch now, and I've got a date with my pillow because I'm absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
Let's go home.